Next on Be More to Do More podcast.
Lyric of the week. We're gonna pop it off with the lyric of the week, man. This lyric comes from New Orleans' own.
Yeah, he don't get enough credit, by the way.
Currency.
And
he says, I find motivation in everything.
Okay.
That's the life of a king.
So you telling me that motivation is out here to be found?
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not motivated, there are reasons why you're not motivated.
100%.
Man, let's get into it, man. Let's dive deep.
So today, we're going to talk about the 5 reasons you are unmotivated.
Okay.
And how to fix it.
All right, let's go, man. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because we bypassed all the formalities, man. We've been here years, some change, man. We just gonna get into it. So the number 1 is getting lost in what's current.
Ooh.
To all you social media, how do you see that, man? Before I get into it, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you don't have a set thing and you going with trends,
yeah,
dude, you gonna fail every time because it switches so quick on you,
right?
And it just you can't keep up.
You know what? I feel bad for. I ain't gonna say I feel bad, but we have.
Try to play it off. Hey. Leave that in there.
I'm definitely gonna leave that. But we have the Gen Zs, man, and the younger generation, like who actually grew up with social media. So to me, when social media started coming around, I was like grown.
Right.
So I was already in the process of developing and having that personal development. So my focus was to pretty much to learn who I am and what purpose meant to me versus what's trending and what's on social media and you see what I'm saying? So I don't know if they have that opportunity.
Right.
Or maybe they do.
I mean, they do. They do have the opportunity, right? But it's you have to be intentional, and to know that I'm gonna blaze my own trail. I'm not gonna follow what everybody else is doing.
That's true.
That's the difference is where it's like,
right?
Oh, what's the latest challenge? Oh, let's do the hot chip challenge or whatever it is, right? Like,
is that a thing?
I feel like it is.
Okay.
I feel like it's like maybe it's like one chip or something like that.
Right. The Tide challenge. You remember that?
The what?
The Tide challenge.
Tide challenge.
Yeah, they was eating them little Tide packages.
No,
you don't remember that, bro? Yeah, bro. Oh my gosh. All right, I digress. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's again, you gotta have some type of foundation that you're gonna stand on.
Yeah. I think most of the biggest reason is not really knowing who you are too. You know what I mean? So you kind of, by definition, you look at social media. That's kind of like your mirror. You're trying to find yourself in what you're seeing. That's why they call it entertainment. You get tangled in it. You know what I mean? You enter it and you get tangled in it. It's something that they're.
Look at you, conspiracy theorists.
You already know. I got it from a conspiracist. Real talk. Shout out to Avenue, man. When you
entertain,
me and my boy, we be talking deep, man. But anyway, yeah. So they find a way to mirror themselves. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this, and it's popping. People making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that can be. It can be unmotivating when you find out that that's not for you. You know what I mean? So, but what can we do to, I guess, diverse? Not diverse.
So I'm solutioning it, right? So,
yeah.
That first step when I hear, you get lost in what's current, right? The first thing that you have to do is begin with the end in mind.
Okay.
And you have to know the result that you're gonna get.
Right.
Before you even start. So that way, no matter what's going on, you're focusing on the end result. And you're not going to stop because your end result is to get to whatever mark it is that you're trying to get to.
See, that's even dope, man, because, to put that, with that in mind, right? Having a result in mind should be your priority. Meaning, if you don't have nothing right now, your key goal or responsibility is to find what it is. You know what I mean? So like if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, if you don't know what your purpose to do, the key thing that you're supposed to be doing is diving deep into personal development, prayer, meditation, learning who you are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that you can establish some type of vision or some type of result. That way you can continue forward in your mission and whatnot. So that should be priority. Even if you don't have nothing right now, even if, you come down from the high of looking at social media, trying to figure out what you need to be doing, you know. That need to be your priority, is just finding out who you are. And
I would even look at it like even beyond social media, right? Because we talk about unmotivation, that's part of it, right? That's right. A lot of newer generation does succumb to that trap. But I think it really just boils down to having goals. And right. And not even just having goals, but again, sticking to your goals, because all right, there's no way, again, like Curren said, right? I find motivation in everything. That's the life of a king. Right. And think about it. A king is no scrub, right? Nah, you got something, right? Right. And I think that's the part of the unmotivation piece, because you don't feel like everything that you're doing is leading to, some type of success reward or purpose or something like that. So because you don't know what your goal is. Whoa, wow, that's heavy, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let that sit. Wait, hold on. Bars. Yeah, we got to give him bars for that, man. So so just having the end in mind, right? Mm-hmm. So that's number one. Man, look like we getting through these pretty fast already, huh? Number two, distractions. Or I would say majoring in the minors. Okay, I got a confession, right? All right. So I'm one of the type of people that I'm the type that major in the minors. Okay. And I'm not. It's not in a petty sense where I'm petty. I could be looking at numbers or something, and I can get distracted so fast with something that's so minute, right? So I think I was doing something the other day here at the studio. Okay, a little story time. Yeah, hold on. Story time. I was doing something here at the studio, right? And I had to figure something out before our clients came in at 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. But it was something else that was really bothering me. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even priority. But just because it was bothering me, I had to fix it. But before you know it, 30 minutes passed and my clients was 20 minutes away. So, I was kind of behind, getting everything set up, getting the studio set up, because I'm sitting here trying to fix this minor thing that had nothing to do with them. It was just bothering me. So that kind of threw me off, man. And now I'm rushing when they got here and I'm all thrown off. I can't really produce like I should because I'm majoring in the minors. Yeah, 100%. So and I give a little story too, right? Okay. Story time. I was at a branch yesterday, and I was with the assistant manager, and I was like, "Hey, these are the goals that we're gonna have for today, right?" So step one, right? These are the goals, and then I was like, "This is your responsibility in achieving these goals." Right. We opened the doors at 8. 9 o'clock, 9:30, nothing had been accomplished that was on that list. And when I replayed the day or replayed that first hour and a half, right, there were, she was doing stuff. It just wasn't conducive to the success of what her goals were for that day. Oh man! And there's a lot of people that get lost in that because. You become so busy, right, doing a whole bunch of stuff that don't really, I ain't gonna say it don't matter, because it probably does matter, right, but that's not your focus right now. Your focus is this, right, delegate that out to somebody else, right, if it needs to get done. You don't need to be the one that's doing it. Yeah, you got the people, what they say, squirrel. It's a real thing. Yeah, it's easy to get squirrely out here, man. It's easy to get squirrely out here. What? Because it's even you look at effectiveness, right, and being efficient and being effective, right. That's the part that gets hard, right. Is being able to ignore, the distractions, right. because you do feel like you can. Well, it's a couple different things. One, you feel like you can do everything, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then two, you feel like you're the best person that you're the best at it.
You can get it done.
Yeah, so you need it. Like it's not gonna take me but 2 minutes to do this. It's gonna take somebody else 10 minutes to do this, and that's the trick of the devil, man. Like you don't get caught up in that trap.
So all right, so okay, to go into that too, man. That may be okay. That small distraction may be something that they're really good at. Mm-hmm. So subconsciously, they can be doing that thing to disregard or avoid doing what's prior.
100%.
You know,
because typically the stuff that they're responsible for, they're not especially as a manager, right? It's not as easy as doing something else. You know. Yeah. So naturally, humans avoid the harder tasks. Like it's just a natural thing. So
all right, man. So when I was at the bank, so I was a teller. I started off as a teller, and then got promoted to a personal banker. But my comfort was on the teller line. Yeah. So my thing was, because I was good at selling quick, like on the fly. But when it came to sitting down a customer and just going through the steps, the selling process, I tried, like subconsciously, I wanted to avoid that so much. So I just kind of convinced my manager. I think we was talking about my manager and that whole thing. Hey, let me just sell on the teller line because I'm really good at it. So I'll be behind the teller. They used to call it seller behind the teller. So I used to be on the teller line just selling. But there were some things that I was missing out on sitting down. There were some opportunities that I would get accounts, but I wouldn't get loans because loan is a different type of sale process. Right. It's easy to open an account on the teller line. Right. But loans and credit lines and stuff like that is really hard to sit down and sell somebody on those things. So, my comfort was there, but it displayed in my numbers. Yeah. Yeah. So
it always does.
Yeah, man. So that's just, I'm not saying that was a minor, but that was a distraction that I used as leverage to get away from the thing that made me uncomfortable. Yeah, man. So, at the end of the day, seeing those numbers and, going into the branch manager office and having that conversation like, yo, what's going on? That was really unmotivating.
So let's talk about these numbers now.
What's going on now? You got 30 accounts, but you ain't got no loans. But, you need a balance here. So help us out, brother. What can we do, man?
So the way that you overcome distractions is keep the main thing the main thing.
Man, so you always say this though,
right? Keep the main thing, because I use it to this day, right? I walk into a branch and again it goes back to the goals piece, right? But also like my goal might be, okay, I want to observe this operation today, right? And I'm so comfortable jumping in and helping and because that's what I did for 5+ years. I was the branch manager, right? So, I still got it, right? Dust it off sometime, right? But
I know that feeling.
Yeah. But what I'm practicing even now, right, is no, Henry, take a step back still, right? Observe, so that way you can coach and train and develop on what could have went differently. That's true. And that's the part where we really gotta impact for the better. Right. Or see the bigger picture on is like, I have to keep this main thing the main thing. I have to keep this audit at the first priority and not miss them, doing something. Right. Because if I do miss it, I'm hurting their long-term development.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So even if it's uncomfortable, you have to keep, and I think that's the purpose of keeping the main thing, because eventually the main thing makes you better. Yeah. You know what I mean? It makes you better. Even if you're uncomfortable with it, that needs to be the forefront of your mind, because here's the thing. Motivation comes with improvement. So if you're improving, you're constantly getting better every day at the main thing, it's going to motivate you to do more and then do more and then, ultimately get promoted, or even grow your business, to some degree. So, yeah, man. Yeah. Yep. Are we going to number, 3?
Number 3.
Oh, number 3.
What you got for us?
Doobies, this is Be More to Do More podcast.
And we have some exciting news for you today.
Listen, we're coming up on 1 year of Be More to Do More podcast, and we really appreciate you all for rocking with our content. But listen, y'all don't want to miss this opportunity right here.
Yes, sir. We've launched an email subscription list where you'll get bonus episodes, get behind the scenes information, as well as discounts on all merchandise and events. Best part about it, it's free.
It's free. This is the chance to dive deeper into conversations you love.
Yes, sir. So hit that subscribe button right now and join our incredible community.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Your environment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're unmotivated, maybe it's your environment. Man,
even in environment, like what the lyrics say. I find motivation in everything. You can't find motivation in a negative environment.
I mean, not if you looking at it every day.
But some people don't have a control over their environment in a sense, right? Like, some people are I don't know, let's say I don't know, they're in the projects and
right,
and it's just every day is just somebody hearing gunshots every night. They're
right.
Got somebody slanging, like whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe maybe they're in a abusive relationship, and not necessarily like physically, but just verbally, like they're people around them, everyone surrounding them is telling them,
right,
you suck, like
yeah,
you're never gonna be anything, like
right.
So what do they do? How do they?
So I think we got to take it back to number one, which is keeping the end in mind. But I think, and I could be wrong, because I'm speaking from one perspective. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like God,
hey man, you're a thought leader, man. You're always right, just so you know.
But I'm gonna come from this perspective. I kind of feel like God always have a window, and I feel like there are always things that's calling you. I kind of feel that way.
Okay.
Whether you want to answer that call or not, I kind of feel like there are things, or either movies, ideas, other people, or whatever it may be, there are things that are calling you. Like, hey, this have your name on it. This is supposed to be you. Like those type of things. And I think that like your environment is important for that calling, but it can also harm that calling if you are subjected to it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like if you're putting your environment over your vision, not vision, but over your calling, like we'll just say comfort. Mm-hmm. Comfort. Some people are just comfortable there, and we know that if there's a calling, it's going to take you out of your element,
right?
And we're going back to number two. You know what I mean? Like distraction. It'll take you out of your element, and it will cause you to have to improve.
So you're saying some people don't even want to get out of their out of their environment,
right? Because they're comfortable. And I think we talked about this in JTNS. Mm-hmm. Some people get tired. They get used to all the noise. All the gunshots, all the negative talk, all the you're not gonna do nothing. It replays and it reflects every day, and it's to the point where it hurts, but they're used to that pain,
right?
If they get into an environment without those things, without the noise, it becomes unfamiliar, and they may end up causing more harm because they're not familiar with these, with that type of environment. You just never know, man. But they're just comfortable with being in that, being in trash or whatever.
Dang.
Yeah. So
that's unfortunate, man.
But I mean, I think it's a way out, though.
Yeah.
I think it's what you think, bro?
Yeah, 100% is a way out. Right.
I mean, that can be unmotivating, but if you want to stay there, if you don't want to stay there, there are things you can do, right?
Yeah. And I think you kind of said it a little bit, right, where you have like gotta come to you with different things, or like and honestly, like sometimes, man, like he'll tell you like straight up, or he'll let you see that straight up. You need to get out that environment.
Right. Yeah.
It's time to go.
Right.
Even if it's a situation where it's not even bad. Yeah. Like I'll give you an example, right? A little story time, right?
Story time.
So I knew that this was probably April of 2021. Maybe no, that'd be March of 2021.
Okay.
And I was talking to my assistant manager at the time. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Is everything good right now?" But in a few months, I'm up out of here. I'm gone, right?
Right.
And I had to really like push her out of her comfort zone and like being there, because it was good. It was, like she didn't want to leave, but I was like, you better leave before you wish you could have left,
right?
Because I'm not gonna be here. This person's about to get promoted. This person just got promoted.
Right.
This person's probably next up. In a few months, I'm gonna be gone. You're gonna be here by yourself with a whole new team trying to figure it out.
Right.
And luckily she listened to me, and it worked out for her. Mm-hmm. She was able to get promoted, and she's doing well. But and I think that's the thing, right? Is and that's the solution, right? And step number 3,
right, is
you have to listen to positive influences, or listen to positive thoughts, or have positive things going on,
right?
And so that whether that's podcasts, whether that's books,
to do more.
There we go. Just different audio, different different going to conferences, going to events. You have to surround yourself with people that are, or things or places or whatever, that are taking you to where you want to go to that goal. Because if you don't, man, it's think about it, right? Like if my goal wasn't to see how my people prosper, right, I wouldn't have had that conversation with her to let her know, like, you can stay here,
right.
But just think about how differently her career could have went.
Yeah, that's true.
I not had that conversation, and then I get promoted, and now she's like scrambling.
Yeah.
Because she's running the branch up.
Now she's playing defense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Right. So
that's unmotivated.
Yeah. Ooh, stay aggressive. Play offense.
Play offense. Hey, real talk. It's a lyric. I heard what Nipsey say.
Nipsey. Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
ain't no point playing defense.
Yeah.
Or he said something else. So he said it twice. He said what was it?
Something out the deep end.
Well, that's the one. Yeah, ain't no point in defense. The deep end jumping. But there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one. Oh, what is it? I don't know. Maybe
Man, so positive influence, man. I got a story, quick story. So, doobies, no excuses, right? I stayed in an environment when I met Chris and I first met, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was in an environment, say, drugs, shooting, stuff like that. I can't believe she used to come see me. She used to come see me at night too, man. That's crazy. But she was bold, boy. That's how I knew she was the one. But look, man, it was a lot going on. But again, I kept feeling that calling. You know what I mean? The calling of I'm not supposed to be here. I know it's something more than this, right? And at this point, I didn't have a job either. So, man, that's how I know Chris Sanders is a winner. She's a winner, man. I didn't have a job. I was on unemployment. So I felt like I was stuck in it, right? But what I did have, I had a library right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So I used to go there and rent books. It's 2010. We didn't have Audible,
right.
Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of the first books I rented, right?
How did you know to get that one? Like,
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Rich.
Okay.
I think it was about money. Like, I need to get out of this environment. I need to make more money. That's kind of what it was. Like, I need to be rich.
Here's a book about money. Let me get this one.
I need to be rich, man. So,
I like it.
Yeah. So I don't know how I found the book. I don't know. I think I might have read about it too. So, online or whatever. But that book was the first book that introduced me to a different type of thinking. And that was the first book that inspired me to want more in life. So after reading that book, I had a MARTA card too. So again, I was unemployed with a MARTA card and a library card. I used to go from the hood to Sandy Springs. If you know you're from Atlanta, you know the Sandy Springs area is clean, and you know it's perimeter mall back before all the thugging went down. You know it was a lot.
Perimeter mall is not the place now.
Not like what it used to be, man.
No,
Buckhead used to be the place too, man. But
what you mean, like?
I mean, it's still a thing, but there's been a lot of activity going on.
Gentrification, right?
Well, yeah, you said it's DJ.
Yeah, we're taking it all back, bro. What you mean?
Okay.
Nah,
well, yeah, this is 2010. So, I mean, Buckhead was still Buckhead and Sandy Springs was still Sandy Springs. So I used to just go out there just to get a breath of fresh air, man, like not smelling weed, and not saying nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I mean, the place I was, you come out, you smell it, and there's a lot going on. So that place was like a breath of fresh air, and just reading books, man. Like that was my first step to getting outside of my environment, and that motivated me to do more. So doing that, I ended up getting a job in banking. Got promoted to a banker. Guess where I moved? To Jimmy Carter. It wasn't Sandy Spring,
okay,
but it was Jimmy Carter.
Is that good? Or I don't know a lot about Atlanta.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. It's
better than where you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're from Atlanta, you're from Georgia. You know the areas I'm talking about. But
I'm from Georgia. I have no idea what you're talking
Atlanta.
about.
I'm sorry, Atlanta, Atlanta. But I moved to a better location.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that, the best time of my life, man. Just living there, man. Because I felt like in that moment, I made it. But of course I was overly ambitious.
You got bread and we're living like the Huxtables. Money ain't making living comfortable.
Yeah, so I had to get out of my environment.
So yeah, I mean, hey, you know what though?
What's
you
that?
know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll tell you how I feel.
Go ahead.
Forget all these excuses people be coming up with, man. Like, because if you can come out of that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, come on, like, let's be real, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If you want to change your situation, you can.
Yeah.
Like, you can. Like, don't.
See, that's
like,
crazy.
It's not like let's not overcomplicate this.
Yeah.
Like, I you know what though? You know what? I feel like too many times. Let me make sure I'm not going too far away from the mic, but too many times,
right?
We overcomplicate everything.
Yeah, we do. Like we do.
Like I got so I run an airport as well. It's a very small airport.
Okay.
And we always talk about, this person doesn't know the system. So what? It's easy. Like, it's easy to learn. Like, we ain't finna overcomplicate success, dude.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like no. Like, this is the plan. Right. This is what we're gonna do.
Right.
And we're gonna be positive about it, and it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Because it always does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to hear your story.
Right.
Because like you didn't allow your environment to take you out.
Right.
And to be like, you know what, I live here, I'm never gonna get past here. Like, you intentionally sought out like ways to improve your situation, and
right,
and boom, now you're on Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to hear you say that though. To actually say it out loud, it's like crazy. To hear it, that makes me believe that it ain't no excuses.
Yeah.
And it also makes me believe even further that some people just don't want motivation. They want to be unmotivated. They want excuses. Yeah. Are you the type of person that just want to be where you are because it's comfortable? Anyway,
is it comfortable though? Like, and that's the thing. Like, is it comfortable? Like, is it like?
But that's all. It's not comfortable. But
like, you so toxic. Like, you so toxic that you okay with this?
Well, I think
stuff pisses me off, man. Like,
I see you passionate
it just
over it,
pisses me off about it. Like, I hate it. Like, I don't hate them.
Right.
But I hate that. Like, right. I hate that type of feeling or that type of mentality that you're so okay,
right,
with like being okay.
Right.
No, let's go be great. Let's go be phenomenal. Let's go be amazing.
That's true.
I don't know. So
I think you know what I think it is? I think it's the point that people rather be comfortable with being uncomfortable than indulging in the unfamiliarity.
Yeah.
Or did I say that right? Unfamiliar.
Yeah.
I think being in this situation because I know what to expect is better than walking in the unknown because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But and I think too, right? Like, yeah, I 100% agree with you. And when you peel the layers back, right? I think we all do that to a certain extent.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we all have areas in our life where you're not executing at the highest level that you could be.
That's crazy. That's true. Because you know what? God always bring me back to those places where like every level in life that he bring me back. So you remember you was here, right? And you did this, right? Because again, man, like sometimes we look at a situation, even like when we go up in life, right? We look at a situation like, dang, this is just what it is, you know?
Yeah.
But God, I'm like, what do you got in your hand? Like then I just had a martyr card and a library card, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was my escape. Like, what do you got now? Going back to Moses, man, he had a staff. What do you got in your hand? You know, let's part the Red Sea with that. So I think that you're right. We do get to a place where, you know, it's familiar. You know, it's not the unknown. But God always uses those moments for me to get off my butt, man. And, you know. But anyway.
Yeah, and I think, and this kind of, I guess maybe the last thing I'll say on this piece is just.
Nah, take your time, man. We here, man.
You know, you're right. No, but I like, because I manage a market that's quote unquote difficult to find quality talent, right? And I can, choose to either lower my standards of what I expect to hire, right?
Right.
Or I can raise the bar, or keep the bar, where it's at, and continue to build. And I think like that's, because that could be some of the, because like you see, sometimes you get so caught up in, okay, the future and like, okay, dang, you start to get concerned. Yeah. You get a little squirrely, right? Or like, dang, I ain't gonna, this person just got promoted. Right. Dang, this person just got promoted. Right. Dang, what am I gonna do? Right. Like now I'm down 2 people. Now we got more stress on, but the reality of it is like, no, like it's okay. Like stick with your guns, because you understand that if you make the wrong decision, and especially like learning now, like I'm a couple of years into this, it's I'm a lot more clearer on, or I guess I understand how if I make a decision based off of like right now, how it's gonna affect me 6 months, a year, down the line. That's true. Because the reality of it is that it does affect you, and you may not realize it in the moment, but that's why you always have to have those same, because again you can easily get demotivated and be like, man, I just need a body. I just need to hire somebody. And go and just hire them and like, no, we ain't gonna do that. Like, no, we ain't gonna do that. Oh man, so even with that, like, okay, so you have an option to just be mediocre, right? And just because I'm lacking motivation or whatever. So you just, you lack motivation, so we're just going to be normal and just do whatever. But the motivation comes in when you stick to your guns. And then a success hit. Man, that's motivating, man. That's motivating. Just because you stuck to your gun and you just knew, you know what I mean? Like, that's true leadership right there. Yeah, and we had the opportunity, and you get creative. That's when you start to get creative, right? And it's like, it makes you better too. Because like, okay, well, dang, you know what? Okay, where can I find quality candidates? Right. Oh, let's go to the colleges. Right. So, I went to Fort Valley, went back to my, old stomping grounds. What'd you call it? The Fort Valley State University. Yeah, man, we were able to meet some good talent out there. So, okay. It just we'll be at ASU, Albany State. You need to go. You need to go to the trap. To the trap. It's a lot of talent out there now. A lot of talent in the trap now. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. I'm just kidding. Nah. But yeah, I mean, it's you got to look for the right people that got the right mentality too, right? Not just the credentials, and you got to have the talent. So, but no, it's interesting though, man. It's interesting. person when you can learn to, again, stay in the positive environments and create those, like you'll be surprised on what you can learn about yourself,
right?
And you can learn about your performance as well.
So we're still on environment. Mm-hmm. Wow. So you're telling me just because you stuck or you're sticking with your guns and you're staying steady with your expectations, you're becoming more creative, and now you're creating an environment.
Oh yeah. What the environment's already created in a sense. Well, you know what? I feel like you're always building it. You're right. You're always building it.
So you're adding to it.
Yeah. Like, so you just add in. So, because what it is that, and it's almost like when you look at like creating a movement too, but like you have people that are there before you got there, right?
Yeah.
That they're conforming, they're getting better, but they still have some of the old habits or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a group that you hired that they see what you say, right? But sometimes the people that they're around don't always exude that, so it's hard for them to, whatever, right?
Right.
But they believe in it somewhat because it's all all they know is you, right?
Right.
As a leader, and then you have another group that now they're seeing the people that you hired, and so like it continuously gets better.
Oh yeah.
But if you don't trust the fourth generation that's coming in,
right?
Like I'm telling you, the people I just hired, man, like
they ready.
They are dogs.
They ready.
Like they legit, man. They legit, ready. And 100%, right? I mean, it's gonna take experience, right? They're gonna need more experience.
Yeah.
But like they're the ones that's going to continue to push everything forward, right? And but now it's like, okay, now we need to put people in the operations that they can teach and they can develop,
right?
And that's when really the game gonna chill.
Ooh, I got chills.
So it's deep, man. It get deep, bro.
You see how motivating that sounds? Golly, man, we just talking about it right now. It's motivating.
Let's keep moving. All
right, bro. All right. So number four, the fourth reason why you are unmotivated is because you rely on yourself.
Ooh.
Self-reliant. Bro, that's me. It's me. I'm the problem. Okay, bruh. Okay. Now that I'm older, I'm getting to the point where I can ask people, or whatever, but me, I'm gonna just figure it out,
right?
Because I have a problem with depending on other people, or I have an issue. Like currently talking to my therapist about it.
The way you said it, it's just the way you said it.
I said it. That's how I felt too, man. I'm trying to hash you that, man, but it's also the reason why I'm not further than where than where I want to be too, because I can only do so much. I only know what they say. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to go outside of yourself. But I just have
unconsciously incompetent.
Yeah, that's it. Let's talk about that.
So there's I guess we could probably create an episode on these four things and kind of go into them deeper later on. But there's four different, I don't even know what to call them, but I don't know, like stages of knowing, right?
Yeah.
And one of the stages is unconsciously incompetent, which means you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And it's one of those things when you talk about being self-reliant, 100%, like you it's holding you back from getting to where you truly need to be, because you don't even realize it's holding you back, but like you have to be able to lean on others and mentorship and other things that you're going to be able to provide a different perspective on you, give you a different angle to be able to get out of your funk or whatever and stay motivated, because it's a killer though. Self-reliance is a killer.
And well, that's true. Self-reliant. Some people have an ego issue too.
Oh, 100%.
Now I'm not saying that's me, because I know I don't want to ask somebody because I have my own issues. It's not ego, but I just have my own issues, right? But like you say, is unconscious, incompetent. You don't know what you don't know, and it's unmotivating because even in business, you keep producing the same results. And you just don't know why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is not motivating at all. You know, and honestly, even I started at 11. I had 11 businesses, right? 2 out of 11, you know, did something. The other 11 failed. And reason that those failed because of lack of motivation. But I did notice something. In those other 9 businesses, I didn't get no help.
Right.
You know, I didn't get no coaching. I didn't, you know, because I felt like I could do it by myself.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I take it.
You ever seen that look? I don't know if it's a Geico or a Progressive commercial, but he's like, some guy's like juggling chainsaws, and he's like, "Give it here, I got it."
Yeah.
Right, like,
yeah.
No, you don't have it.
Nah, you don't. So, self-reliant, man. How can we fix that, bro?
So the way that you fix that is you got to. I'm so country. You have to ask for help.
Right.
You have to ask for help whenever you get stuck.
True.
And in a leadership, right? This is something that, like, because to a certain extent, right, my personality,
right,
I can be unconsciously incompetent, if that makes sense, because of I'm so, like, I'm calculated, right? So if I make a decision, it's going to be pretty much thought out for the most part. But sometimes it's also just me making the decision, right? So I'm unaware of how I'm making other people feel when I make a decision, whether it's me just taking over or me again being, you know, having a plan for it. Right. And I kind of disregard people's feelings.
Oh, so that's in leadership, huh?
100%.
Oh,
100%.
Okay.
So I have to be able to ask other people that surround me, hey, tell me how I can best serve you.
That's heavy there.
Yeah. Or I may recap, hey, how do you feel about this conversation that we just had? Or, hey, how did you feel about, like, today? How did you feel like it went? Right. If you could change one thing about it, what would it be? Right. How could I have delivered the message differently to make the results even better? Right. These are all questions that you can ask yourself, so you don't become self-reliant, because you have your view of how you saw it happen, how you saw it play out. Right. But your view may be tainted, or your view may be not gonna say unrealistic, but like, you may not be it may not be factors that you're taking into consideration. That's true. You know, and as a leader, you have to be able to ask your team, okay, what's your perspective on our result? Right. Because that's how you drive people to be motivated. Right. Is, again, I guess it's bigger than just, you know, your personal motivation, but you drive other people motivated because they feel like, oh, you really do care and you really are listening to me. It really does matter, because the reality of it is, man, if you leading people in the way that they don't want to be led, then you're gonna be stuck. So that's okay. That's deep, bro. So that goes beyond. So asking for help goes beyond coaching. You know, even serving your team. Yep. Yo, I know, like, in our small group, like, I think it's my second time hosting a small group. My first time, I was just kind of doing everything by myself. But now I'm delegating. Yeah, there we go. You know what I mean? But I noticed too that people are getting comfortable with sharing or texting me or telling me their perspective. But when I hear their perspective, it's like a light bulb, like ding, and I'm like, man, that's good. And I realized that when we ask for help, you know, because here's the thing, we've been watching the same movies for 20, 30, 40 years. Right. You know what I mean? The same movie we've been watching. So we're going to do the same thing, same results, you know. But when somebody else brings the other perspective, like, it somewhat adds to your perspective. It's a different character in your movie with a different scenario that's going to bring a different, you know, type of situation to your movie, man. So that's really good. Yeah. And we all need those dynamic people in our lives that's going to, you know, change our script. Yeah. Right?
Hey, come on with it, man. Hey.
Let's talk about it.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just reality, right? But either way, right, I think, you know, and I look at it right now, right, like I'm, you know, like I got a few side things that I do, right? But like, I'm at a point where I'm stuck in one of those things, and it's like, dang, like, and I've been trying to figure it out on myself, but I'm like, dude, just set up a call and talk to the person you paid, you know, to get access to, right?
That's
like,
true.
just do that. Like, why won't you do that?
Right.
You know, like, it's again, like, so I tell you, like, all of us have different things that we struggle with, that we need help with or whatever.
Right.
But you got to get out of this mentality that if it's up to be, or if it's I don't know if it's the right word, but I'm gonna mess this quote up.
Go ahead,
if it's up to be, it's up to me, right? And I gotta be the one to do it, you know. That's just not you cannot be self-reliant on yourself. You have to be able to lean on your mentors and also your team to be able to move the performance with, right? To move the motivation to where you need to move it to.
So my first time hearing about that, unconsciously and I came to you with it, and you gave me all pillars. I'm like, bro, why you tell me? I had to find this on YouTube. I'm like, you could have been told me this, you know what I mean? But I ran into a video and it was talking about that, and I realized that dang, we ain't moving, you know, I'm moving the needle, you know, like what we're doing. I'm like, man, I need some coaching. So I had to get some coaching. And in 1 month, bro, you know, I see a difference. But, you know, that just lets me know that I can't really.
You know how crazy that is? In 1 month.
Yeah.
Literally 30 days.
It ain't even the 9th, is it? Yeah, we'll say a month.
30 days.
30 days, yeah.
Less than 30 days.
And that's crazy, man. And it just added to my dynamics. Yeah. Now, just because I have the coaching, I feel like in media I can help somebody else get there.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So it goes way beyond just me and what we're doing. So like, you know, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, now you're helping somebody else get unstuck.
Yep.
Cause you're a thought leader.
Yep. And that's so you see how motivating this stuff sounds? It's motivating. But anyway, are we going to number 5?
Let's go, man. Let's go ahead and kill it.
All right. 5th reason. I think I got a bonus for you, or maybe just a scripture. We're going to see. But a 5th reason you're unmotivated is because you're not, we're going to say unexamined wins and losses. So a win is a win and a loss is a loss. No evaluation, just winning and losing out here. That's not. You want me? I'm gonna be honest too, though.
Yeah.
For a long time, again, and remember when I said I had 11 businesses?
Right.
Two out of 11 did something. The other 9, I don't know what I learned. I know I learned some things, but the last 2, I did some heavy evaluation. But the other 9, I didn't learn nothing. A win was a win. I felt like I got lucky. It was what it was. I didn't try to break it down and learn what I did right.
Right.
And the loss was a loss. And I was sad and I was down. I was beating myself up, lacking motivation. So I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. You know, so yeah. What you got, man?
It's not necessarily what I have. It's more so what you have.
Right.
In your hand. And it's the "What Am I Doing Right" journal.
Oh, okay. Well,
and it's not officially out yet.
This ain't official.
It's not officially out yet.
Yeah, we're still working on some stuff.
I think that is going to be a game changer for people.
They just don't know, bro.
Yeah, like it's going to be a game changer because, like you talked about, people win, people lose, and they have no record, no idea.
Right.
Like when I first started, as a level 3. I used to record like every week I would record like my week. Right. Now what I haven't done yet is go back and listen to those recordings and find out what I felt like went right and what I felt like went wrong.
Right.
But I have a track record so I can go back. Okay, if I'm getting to those days where I'm struggling, let me go back and remember either all the times that it was just, man, this was terrible back in the day, right? Or
right.
Back in the day, it was a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. But, or I can go and relive, like, oh, I forgot I was doing that.
Right.
And you have to have that record of success or failures.
Right.
And I was my kid had a game today, right? And Quattro. So Quattro had a game and they've been undefeated this whole season, right? I think they got like 2 or 3 games left.
Right.
And, man, this other team, not necessarily better than them. They had one player that was really good,
right.
But it just wasn't clicking, right? It just is what it is. And they ended up losing, right?
Right.
So it's the first loss of the season. One of the parents came over, and by the way, I'm boiling inside because I'm competitive. I'm competitive, right? Like
he said, I can tell by the conversation.
Yeah, I'm competitive, man.
Yeah.
And I don't like losing, and I don't like losing, and especially like when you shouldn't lose. You know, like one of those things you shouldn't lose, right?
Yeah.
But they're kids, you know, it is what it is, right? But one of the parents came over. And I still got mixed feelings about it, but I get the gist of it.
Right.
He was like, there's no such thing as losses. There's only lessons.
Yeah.
Right. And which kind of had a podcast on failure, right?
Right.
And you have to understand that even in your defeat, there's something that you can be learned to move forward and not make those same mistakes. Right.
That's true. Yeah.
And and I'm sure the coach is doing this, right? He's like, dang, like we see the result of what happened. Like it was, a couple of different things that happened in the game that really changed the game because they were winning throughout most of the game.
Right.
And at the end, it just fell apart.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, what led up to that? Like what led up to okay, this player had started doing this. What could I have done to affect that behavior? Right. And because are you motivated more? And it's just a good lesson, I guess, in a sense of, I know we're talking about, and it's a relevance to like youth football, Pee Wee football, but the reality of it is the player that that was really kind of messing up. Was he more motivated by in his feelings about whatever it was, or was he more motivated by winning and doing his job to win the game? And I think it's a lot of us, we get so caught up in how we feel or, how we see things.
Right.
That we don't really do what's necessary to win.
See, I can go a whole Avondale football team, bro. I mention this all the time, man. Like I'm sorry, but go ahead. Would you?
No, that's it. Yeah.
But I got so many tangents on this because I think that was the thing with our high school football team. We had so many talented people, but everybody looking at what everybody's doing, and one person feel like this person shouldn't get the ball as much as this person, and you know what I mean? So just because they don't get the ball as much, they not going to play their part. You know what I mean? So it's like nobody is really focusing on playing their parts, playing their position. So yeah, man, I just had to get that.
Well, and I think sometimes, man, people it's going to sound rude.
No, I say I had to get that off, man.
And it's going to sound a little rude, I guess, in a sense, but like, man, you got to know your role. Like, your role ain't to get the ball. Like, I'm just being honest.
You gotta block.
Everybody want to get the ball, or everybody want to, like, you're not the best player on the team.
Right.
Like, we got to put the ball in our playmakers, and that's just like people gotta. And that's obviously we're talking about football, but like that's life though. Like, like don't get so caught up because your number hasn't been called yet.
Yeah.
Do your freaking job.
Right.
And make sure that you're not the reason why we lose.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, because I look at it like if we win, everybody gets a look.
Yeah.
Regardless of who get the ball. But if we lose, ain't nobody getting a look.
Yep.
What college coming out here to look at you?
100%.
You feel me? So it's just like, and that's a poor way of thinking, man. Well, if I don't win, nobody else. You know what I mean? Like personally, like, nah, man, just play your part. And let's look at this win. And let's just try to get this win by me playing my part.
Yeah. And I look at it too, right? Like, even my professional career, right, where it's not necessarily, you get the ball or whatever, but like, so like being able to be in a top being able to be responsible for a top performing team,
right?
It's one of those things where, man, I'm so appreciative sometimes, right? Because like everybody like, and it's just the reality of it, right? The leader gets all the credit,
Right.
right? I mean, and they also get the blame when everything don't go well, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the reality, right? And it's up to the leader if they put the credit back on the team, right? But the reality of it is, man, is like I'm so grateful and so thankful that I have a bunch of team members that are selfless,
right?
And they understand that. Yes, it's the leader getting the recognition right now, but if the branch wins as a whole,
right?
Now everybody has these eyes on this operation.
Right.
Hey, come on. I want you over here.
Yeah,
and people start to recruit you.
You came from there?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
Because they understand you know what it takes to win.
Exactly.
Right.
You coming from a winning people want to hire people that come from winning cultures. Period.
And you said something key. You said winning cultures. Like that's different than just winning.
Yeah.
You're creating a culture of winning now. So that's different. What about Deion, man? I want to talk about Deion.
You want to talk about Deion?
I know by the time we release this or whatever, but
season probably over.
But Deion, like, I like how everybody when he got accepted to Colorado or whatever. Oh man, he just want the money. This and that, another. Then he won the first 3 games. Was it the first 3?
Yeah, I think so.
First 3 games. Oh man, he the greatest coach ever. Then he lost a bad loss against, what was that, Oregon? Man, well, I don't know about Deion. What y'all think? You know what I mean? Like, but I get excited for stuff like that because I look at a winning culture. Like you said, we don't take losses. We learn, right? If you're part of a winning culture, when you lose, that's an opportunity. You know, how I see we got a weakness here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he talked about it.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
So yeah, he talked about it. He was like, when we're losing, I'm looking on the sidelines and I'm seeing, okay, who's engaged, right? Who's want to get out there and be able to be an impact player, or I'm also looking at, okay, well, dang, who's giving up,
right?
Like, and the reality of it is, college football is not guaranteed.
Yeah,
you got a scholarship for a semester, pretty much. Like it's semester by semester, from my understanding, right?
Right.
So you can get cut just like that and lose your scholarship, and they're gonna bring somebody else in, right?
Right.
So like, and that's just the game, right? But like, but yeah, I mean, he talked about that's what he's evaluating is how are you responding when we're losing,
right?
And are you engaged? Are you ready to go? Or if you're not, I'm taking notes,
right?
Because when it comes time to renew your contract,
we got to talk.
We got to figure something out.
You got to come see me.
Yeah.
And I even said that when they was down 40-something-0. I was saying that. I said, what was it, 40-something-0 when they?
It was bad.
It was bad. But I was thinking, I'm like, yes. Because here's the thing, even with wins, I don't like to lose either. But what bothers me the most is that when I do lose, I can't figure it out. Like that's the part that will bother me. I have to figure out why I lost. I'm evaluating my. Did we go into did we go into that? I know we talked about unexamined wins and losses. Okay, so I guess I just burst the bubble. So you have to evaluate your wins and losses, right? So if I can't figure it out, man, it's gonna bother. I can't sleep until I figure out. Oh, I just need to tweak this. All right, I'm gonna try again next week.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I got excited for Deion in that moment because I'm like, man, like you can learn from your wins, but your lesson comes when you lose. And I'm like, so here it is. You're in a D1 school. Like now you need to see, okay, this is what our team look like against a more polished team. I would say more polished. Yeah.
Yeah, because people forget it's been less than a year. Yeah, like he hasn't even had his team for a season.
Right.
Like it's their first time playing as a unit together, and he had 60, 80 like transfers. Yeah, people that came in that's like learning his system for the first time.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's it's gonna take time.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I don't care if it takes a year or two, but I know when at the end of the day when Deion retire, whatever he gonna do from Colorado, it's going to be a winning school because he's creating a winning culture.
Yep.
You know, and that's motivating, man. That's motivating, man. Come on.
Yeah, and here's the reality, right? Who doesn't want to play for a coach like that? I mean, you got to have people that like, oh, he too flashy, or oh, he talk too much. Like, I don't really want to be in that environment. Mm-hmm. But these dogs, these people that like, nah, coach legit, like,
right,
and can see through, like, like, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, he got a lot of flash, but if you can really see through some of the stuff he's saying, mm-hmm. a lot of stuff is principle based and it's legit, right?
Biblical too.
Yeah, and he knows where they're gonna be. 2-3 years from now.
Right.
So he said, you better get me now.
So
you better get me now because your best chance of winning better happen right now.
So to go even deeper, because people look at his flashiness. His name is Primetime.
Right.
Primetime. So in that name, because I'm in media, for y'all who don't know, I do media. The name Primetime insinuating that he knows how to use media. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he talks about the new NIL, the what's this now? The
name, image, likeness.
Yeah, name, image, and likeness deals. Mm-hmm. He does that to bring attention to the team. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you see his son wearing chains mm-hmm. because he understands how media works. People watching, either you're gonna hate it or love it,
right?
But you still get he still get your attention,
right?
You know what I mean? So
it's all strategic.
It's strategic. Now you got celebrities who's coming mm-hmm. and investing, and you know what I mean. And yep. he's bridging these gaps because he know how to talk. When that camera is on, his son is in media. Right, following him around with the camera because right. he know that he's going to get his players these NIL deals because he know where these players come from, the mm-hmm. environment they come from. So hats off to the flashiness because he's using it strategically to help mm-hmm. these kids out. And yeah, but I just wanted to talk about that, man. I know that's been boiling for weeks now, man. We just had to get that off, man. But evaluate your wins and losses, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I have a bonus though.
Okay.
And we talked about Habakkuk, mm-hmm. and I just want to go into this one scripture, and it's about motivation. But I'm gonna turn the camera on you while I'm finding it.
So while you put it up,
go ahead, talk about it.
And I know we kind of wrapping up, so. You look at the reasons or really motivation, right, and how to fix it. Like, it really all boils down to that step number one of mm-hmm. beginning with the end in mind. Because, and when I think about my life, right, like 2 years ago, mm-hmm. I knew exactly where we would be at as a group or right. a collective in my career. I didn't know how we were going to get there, right? But I knew we were going to be one of the top performing teams. And even as I look down, a year or two from now,
right,
it's going to get spooky.
Ooh.
Like, it's going to get spooky because, like, the people that we're going to continue to add on and the value that they're going to be able to continue to provide,
right,
and the way, the cohesiveness, right, the way that they're going to all be able to collaborate,
right,
man, like.
Man,
it's gonna be special, man.
I can't
Get
wait.
Your popcorn ready.
I can't wait to hear that testimony. We might need to bring the team up here, man. We can talk about it. You know what I mean? Hey, we can.
Let's talk about it.
All right, man. As we wrap this thing up, man, I want to talk about motivation. And we talked about this scripture last week, but I'm going to bring it back up to remembrance, and it's Habakkuk 2. We're going to start at verse 2, and it says, "The Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run," that word run, "who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie." I want to talk about run in this particular scripture. The Bible says, write the vision down, make it clear. We talked about that last week. We want to make it clear so that he may run. What the scripture is talking about here, back in the day, they called them Herald. We talk about this.
Yeah.
Herald. Mm-hmm. Hey, usually that's a newspaper. And I was
right.
like, dang, it is, right?
Right.
I didn't know that. But what a herald used to do, they used to call them criers too, nowadays, AKA preachers. But what a herald did was they would carry the town news and run and share it with the town in the middle of the city. Like, hear ye, you know, the king and the queen and this, that, and other. Right. That's what a herald is. So the Bible is saying, make the vision plain, write it down on tablets, so the herald may run and read it to the town. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing: when it comes to motivation, you have to be clear. You know, in order to have or be motivated, you have to have self-discipline. You know, you have to be clear, like you say, have the end in mind. You know, let's do away with the distractions. You know, pay attention to your environment. Get positive help. You know, good help.
Right.
And examine your wins and losses so you can be clear on what you're doing.
Right.
Because when you become clear and you develop this self-discipline and you're consistent every day, those minor wins equals motivation on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. So not only are you motivated,
right,
but the people who are seeing you become successful are now motivated by your discipline. So not only are you motivated, you become a motivation to other people.
Yeah.
So I just want to leave you guys with that, man.
Ooh, that's a good way to end it right there, man.
Yeah, man.
Run better run. Killer Mike.
I like that.